So we had a lot of obstacles to overcome, and we did. It was not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. A brand new relationship on the romantic side and a brand new, business, that was the toughest. Why are we working for someone else? Why are we making these dreams true for someone else? I know I can sell. I know I don't know anything about film, but I know I can sell. It was not love at first sight.
But you know what? At the end, the next day we get back up, we keep going and run the business again.
Oh my God. And he had flowers for me.
Every successful business has an origin story. For Lori and Gordon Borgwald, that story began in the garage. Not in a big office, not in a large team, just two people, a dream, and the courage to bet for themselves. Over the last 10 years, that business has grown into Window Tint Films LV, helping homeowners and businesses throughout Las Vegas create more comfortable, efficient, and protected spaces. But the business is only part of the story, because behind every milestone, every challenge, and every success was a husband and a wife building something together. At She Means Business magazine, we are honored to share not only their entrepreneurial journey, but the love story that made it possible. This is Lori and Gordon Borgwald. They mean business.
Hi, I'm Lori Borgwald.
Hi, I'm Gordon Borgwald.
And we are Window Tint Films LV. It was not love at first sight. We met online dating, and he pursued me for 2 months. I was not replying to his texts until one morning I got bored. On a Sunday morning,
Bored.
I was bored. And I replied to his text, and then it was love at first sight. What's your story?
About the same. You know what, I was at a part in my life where there wasn't all that dating and all that going on. I didn't want to, and we were older. And we just got together and it just lighted up from there.
So this was 11 years ago. 11 and a half years ago. We met in December. He pursued me since October. We met in December. And we were never apart since then, and we got married 6 months after. Oh my gosh, it was, I was not, no, actually it was not. I had done online dating, and I was really disappointed, about to give up. He showed up all cleaned up. His truck was all clean. He was all looking very handsome, and oh my God, and he had flowers for me right away. He had not even met me. And that date lasted 6 hours, right? That first meeting, 6 hours. We didn't want to just let go. We had so much to talk.
Yep.
That's that first date for me. At Red Rock, December 9, 2014. We are a blended family. He has 2 beautiful kids, a boy and a girl, and at 38 and 40. Mm-hmm. And I have 2 daughters, twin daughters, about to be 33. So there are 3 grandsons. One lives here. You want to tell them about your grandchildren?
My grandbabies, he's our life. We don't get to see the other ones as much because they live in Idaho, but we stay in touch all the time. But my other grandson's here. He's our little pride and joy. He just turned 6. Yeah. He's fun.
He was born during the pandemic. And we had the privilege, and because of the circumstances that the parents work in the casino industry, that we became second parents. So we had him from newborn. Friday, it seems like even more days than that, Friday all the way through Monday overnight. I mean, he was only a month and a half old when we started taking care of him like continuously. And so he's our child. He's not our grandchild. He's our child.
Do you want the truth?
No, no. Men are physical, visual.
No, but you know what? Lori was older. I didn't want to do all that other stuff of going out dating and all that. Lori was honest with me, and we just hit it off. It didn't matter how nice she looked, she's a beautiful lady, but it didn't matter and all that. We hit it off right away, and it was good. So, but there were some other things that hit off, but
the physical attributes. I liked it that he was really clean up and that he still had those gentleman, manners of bringing flowers to a first date. I have been to previous dates where I had to pay for my own coffee. The guy will show up on flip-flops, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what is this? And this guy was totally clean up, totally, letting me talk, because I'm a talker, right? Very, very patient, which I think it was a play there, But before I got to meet him, he was telling me, I'm here with my mom. I'm having dinner with my mom. I was thinking, okay, I really like that about him. He takes care of his mom. If he's a good son, there are other things that are very good about him. And he was ready to be in a relationship. He was center, in my opinion, and because I had dated, and I like that about him. I like that he was still old-fashioned. He was an old soul.
Being business partners is tough. It's tough for anybody. Having your life where your home life and your business and all of it, and then your partners too, is tough. You spend a lot of time, not only a lot of time together, but we don't because we're always on the run, really. But being partners is hard. And it's hard on the marriage too, because we get in beefs over stuff, paperwork that I didn't do right or didn't jive right. But in the end, I think that's been our tough one. We have some tough battles. But you know what? At the end, the next day we get back up, we keep going and run the business again.
We dated for 6 months. We got married, 6 months after. We started our business a year after we got married. Okay, we have been great up until that point. It was a brand new relationship, but then we have a business, and he wants to be in control, and I want to be in control. We are older, individuals. We have our ways. We got married at 52. Both of us were 52. We already have our ideas, And as much as we wanted to be together and our ideas on how to work, because I felt I had a lot of experience. He felt he had a lot of experience, and he did. I was totally new to the industry of window film, but I was not new to having a business. He was new to having a business the way that we wanted to have it, but he was totally seasoned in that. And so we had a lot of obstacles to overcome, and we did. It was not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. A brand new relationship on the romantic side and a brand new, business, that was the toughest. But I think that communication, and we still work on communication. We have 2 different, languages and literally 2 different languages.
No, it's just a little tougher now. Lori's a lot more educated on the business than she was in the beginning. So she's, that's changed.
So it's a challenge there because I challenge him on things because I know.
But we always, though we always come, in the end, we come to some kind of agreement on it. Mm-hmm. So it all works out good.
As a married couple, that even though we met so late in life and we had our ways, we're very family oriented. We still have that romantic side. He's still very romantic, as you can see. He brings me flowers. Proudest moment is blending our families and really balancing that life. The compromising is very difficult when you have been alone. He had been alone and not in a relationship for over 20 years, right? And I have been not in a relationship or having to compromise for about 10 years. When you're in your 50s, really, I think that the most beautiful thing is realizing that you need another human being in your life, that you want another human being in your life, that you want to share that life and compromising. You want to tell her or you want me to tell her?
Oh, go ahead.
So we were both...
I want to hear this version.
You want to hear my version? It's a good version. It's a version everyone knows. He was working for a window tinting company that had just been acquired by someone else that did not share on the same culture as the previous owners. And I was working for a dental company that had been acquired by a group of investors that were bringing their own upper management team, and I was on upper management, and I knew that the day was coming where maybe I will be replaced. I knew that he was very, very unhappy. That was a challenge in our relationship, his unhappiness at work. And I knew that I could sell anything. I knew that I was good for business. I knew that I love to network and that I wanted us to have our own dream, to work on our own dream. And one day sitting in the garage, saying, why are we working for someone else? Why are we making these dreams true for someone else? I know I can sell. I know I don't know anything about film, but I know I can sell. Let's do this. And then I'll let him take it from there.
Well, me and Lori were, I was working for somebody, yes. But at the same time, too, we were already doing jobs. And we were just doing it under a small company, Gordon's Window Tinting. We were just doing little stuff. But we were doing our own thing. We were already starting to branch out, doing some of our own stuff.
A little bit. Mm-hmm.
So, and I was still doing the other job too. But
very unhappy. You were very unhappy.
Yeah, I was super unhappy with it all. And then after that, then we just decided one day that that's it. Let's just start doing our own, and that's it. And I left. And I just left the company.
So we went from some income to zero income.
Yeah.
It was a leap of faith that 10 years later, when we look back, we think that was what we needed to do. And another reason for me, and I think we discussed it a little bit, is that I'm telling you, we were 53 now. Okay. And I'm thinking, okay, we are not prepared financially to retire. We didn't plan, that way. In 6 years, if we don't have a job here, who's gonna hire us? We are becoming of an age where we are not as marketable because of our age, not our skills. And I didn't wanna have those constraints. I wanted to have the freedom to work as long as I wanted to work and to have that job security. That was for me one of the things, and the freedom on my time, the freedom of the potential of making, my own income. The freedom of saying I am employed or I don't want to be employed.
Super scary. It was, and we were just moving into a house too.
Yeah.
We were just moving in. We didn't have a lot. We had enough to get by. We were doing, it was fine, but yeah, it was whole different. I wasn't getting up every day and going to a job. We were creating our own jobs. Mm-hmm. So we were starting to buy film, creating our own jobs, going out and doing jobs. And then the WTF came into play. On you.
Sitting again in the garage and saying, yes, let's do this. Okay, what are we gonna name it? I mean, it's so fun, right? When you have a business and say, what is gonna be the name of it? And I'm all about acronyms, it's a very Hispanic thing, acronyms. And I'm thinking, well, window tint film. It's WTF. I want to tell you that English is my second language. He says, no, it's not, you speak very good English, but English is my second language. And I don't know the slang. So I said, WTF. And he says, WTF. I said, yeah, WTF. And what do you say? But he said, do you know what it means? And I said, yeah, window tint films, window tinting films. And what do you say?
We all know what it means. So I told her, I said, it's good. I said, don't worry about it, go with it. Everybody's gonna remember it.
When he told me what it meant, I was like, oh my gosh, should we change it? And that's when he said, no, it's good, it's catchy, let's go with it. And so we did. We rebranded about 3 years later. Yeah, about 4 years later, because the challenge that we found is, so we advertised in Yelp, and we found a challenge that people didn't know what it meant. Well, they knew what it meant, but they didn't really know what we stood for. We were getting to a lot of spam or not, it was not getting there. And some people even got offended by it. So we said, okay, we're gonna put it as Window Tint Films LV for Las Vegas. And that is how we are, I would say that's how we introduce ourselves, but our friends know us as WTF, and they still think it's wonderful, and it's very catchy. People do remember us.
The thing is though about it, we looked at other companies that have the same WTF deal, and there's a bunch of them. Coffee shops, all different kinds of places that have the same. So we stuck with it. And now I tell everybody, don't change it, just leave it alone. Everybody knows it.
Mm-hmm. So I do a lot of networking, and when I introduce ourselves, I do, I'm mindful, and I do say, we're Window Tint Films LV, also known as WTF, and it definitely breaks the ice. So early into our relationship of being business partners, I think that having to define what his role was and what mine was, because he wanted to be involved on what I do and how I do it, and I wanted to do the same. It was just instinct. I had this vision, he had this vision, and I think that it took us a little while, and we defined our roles really good. And sometimes, even to this day, we might overlap a little bit, and we get, kind of snap back. And so I think that's the biggest challenge, defining your roles, because we are so in sync that I think that I can do what he does, and he thinks that he can do what I do, and he can, and I can. But I do better what I do, and he does better. That's my opinion. We're both very knowledgeable. We both have the very same vision of educating, of presenting our business with a lot of integrity, with a lot of pride. And I think that honesty in the business that we do, we are both 100% passionate. And I think that from there, everything else, flows very easily. Pandemic?
Probably the pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic, we didn't know. So our major clients, we have big accounts are in the hospitality industry. And when the pandemic hit, they shut down. That meant about 75% of our business. And just like everybody else that had a business, we got very scared. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Now the casinos are clients, they cannot do business.
But thank God for those clients. Because during the pandemic, they're the ones that kept us afloat, that we could keep all of our employees afloat too.
We did not have any layoffs. We did not, I'm going to say that when we applied for that loan and whatever, we didn't qualify for hardly anything because we only had a very small reduction on our revenue. We had the hospitality kept us alive, just some groups of the hospitality, but I'm gonna say that is when our residential part of the business definitely took off. Everybody was working from home. Everybody was as scared as we were. And but everybody was feeling the heat in Vegas because the pandemic happened in March. They were working from home. Some of them never went back to work. Some of them are barely going back to work. And now they had all these windows and all this time at home, and they were roasting.
It was kind of wild because, well, for the casinos, it was a perfect timing because there was nobody in them. There was nobody there.
So it was really eerie going into a casino where everything is dark, but we're just, the area where we're in, there's only lights. It felt like a ghost town on the outside, but it also felt like, I don't know, like ghosts inside, very, very eerie. So I think that was the most challenging. I think that for a lot of business owners that have gone through the pandemic, I'll say that was the most
and during
challenging.
that time, it was still tight. I mean, thank God for them that they helped us through that point because we didn't have anything else. And we had the residential happening too, but it was very tight during that time. We and we were able to keep our employees through it all. And that was good.
She's laughing. What advice is define your roles. Respect each other on the roles that you play. And treat it as a business. Yes, you are a couple, but it is business. And when you finish the business day, it's home, it's love, it's communication. Don't hold a grudge. And we're talking about this, but sometimes we do hold a grudge. It was such a rough day. I cannot see you in the evening. I don't want to cook for you. I don't want to do anything with you. Leave me alone. I'm going out with my friends to network. What was your advice?
You know what? I'm gonna hold tight on this one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna get his head so big, but he's a hustler. He's a risk taker, and he compliments me on that. I have other qualities, but I don't excel on those. And the hustler, yes, but he's a risk taker. And he says, we're gonna do it. And I said, oh my gosh, but it's so much, or it's this commitment. We just have to work harder. And so I really admire his resilience.
My turn, huh? Well, one of the things with my wife that I've learned is that her, God, I don't know how to put it, her outlook on she does with all these people and all these different groups that she's in, and brings clients, brings customers to the table, and is able to go to all these different events and all this. It's amazing. It's amazing how she does it. I don't know how she does it. I couldn't keep up with it. And then golfing at 4 o'clock in the afternoon too. So I don't know how she does it. I have enough just keeping up with the work. But you know what, that, and she's such a great grandparent to my baby. My grandson loves her so much. So there's so many different things that are good for the two of us together. We have our bumps, believe me. We have our bumps. But in the end, it all pans out.
My gosh, this is a declaration of love here.
Yeah.
In the industry, I want to leave behind a legacy of educating people as to why, first of all, the environment, leaving less of a footprint in the environment, because even though we're gonna be gone, there's still, we have our children or our grandchildren on that. As a person, I want to leave the legacy to my children, to my grandchildren, that integrity and passion on what they do. Integrity and passion, and to love. I'm a very loving person, I'm a warm person, and I think that any relationship, it starts with that warmth. So I want to leave that integrity.
Oh, man.
So we're both loud people. I'm Hispanic, and I don't know, he should have been Hispanic because he's very loud. But I think that they really understand that, you know, love in life might come late, and it still deserves a chance. That compromising is very important, and resilience. You know, and being totally dedicated to the relationship, excelling. You know, love doesn't happen just when times are good. You know, love really proves itself when times are rough as well.
Ditto.
Dude, oh my goodness, you're full of words.
Well, that one you got me on, honey. You pretty much laid it out there really good. Yeah, I can't even better that one. I don't know. We're branching out, trying new ways to do things the updated way. The way things have changed now, and it's a little bit of a process, but things are coming together, and we're going to enlarge a little bit more.
Success to me seems the steady growth that we have had, the being able to increase our, we have added more people to our team. We have educated ourselves, and success means that we never look back. We're still here, and we're at 10 years. So that was a very good idea that we had in the garage 10 years ago.
And we still get ideas in the garage.
This is the man cave for him.
Yes, that's the man cave.
He can still get into the garage.
Yep. Okay. Well, Latinas are definitely different.
No judgment here.
Man.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, I don't know though. I gotta watch myself here. Yeah, I'll be sleeping in the garage. It's kind of like what we talked about earlier though with the business. Lori is a tough bird like me. I don't know how else to put it. She has her ideas and her ways, and I have my ideas and my ways. And that's where we kind of bump on things. And then, you know, I know she, you know, talks Spanish behind me and everything too. So, and then I don't understand it. But no, you know what? I don't think it's all that much. I don't think it's you're Latina or you're white or you're, things are always tough for your wife and your husband. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are or what you are. It's tough. But we always come out ahead. And then we have days like this where we can sit together and do this talk. So I did gain a little extra when a Latina came, because I have a daughter that's still at home. So I did gain a little extra. But Latina families, we definitely go to a lot of parties and we do a lot of eating. Okay? And there's gotta be one blue-eyed white guy.
That's it.
And there it is. So
I see it that sometimes that, oh my gosh, it was a rushed decision. But it was the right decision because it went with the intuition of who I felt he was. And I'm thinking, online dating does work.
No, I gotta be honest with you. You know what? We really said, all right, that's it. Let's get married. Let's just do it. Now, I understand all this was going on while we were also doing all the other stuff, getting the business ready, moving into this house. All that was going on at the same time, too. So we were both working a lot. And
so people say, take your time, right? So take your time in a relationship. But I had already taken my time for 10 years. He had taken his time for 20 some years. And we felt that we knew what we wanted. And I really like that I took that leap of faith with him. That within the week that when we were dating, we say, okay, do we bring down our profile and close it? Yeah, let's do that. And so will I do it again? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's my partner for the rest of my life.
I love you
I love you
for
too,
the
honey.
rest of my life.
Me too. Give me a kiss. Mwah.